Yo, what's happening? What is happening? I've been researching anxiety. I've been having a lot of phone calls. I've been honing the message of mental health and spirituality and what's the bridge for all of this stuff. So I'm halfway through making presentations. I'm just compelled to actually talk right now. Um, Mostly because so many people are feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and suffering with mental health. I've refrained from saying mental health for so long because of what it meant for me. But that's not helpful for most people to hear spirituality or consciousness, law of attraction. It's not what they want to hear. It doesn't make any sense to them because they're suffering. So if you're one of those people, this video is for you. If you want more understanding on anxiety, this video is for you. If you want more understanding about yourself, this video is for you. I believe understanding changes everything. Not just for yourself, but also for others if they're suffering. So, what is anxiety? Freestyle. It's many, many, many things, but we'll keep it simple. If you're anxious, if anxiety is happening, what do you do? How do you match that? We'll talk about that. How do you prevent it? We'll talk about that. Is it feedback? Is it a symptom? We'll talk about that. At its core, for me, anxiety is feedback. If I'm feeling tense, if I'm feeling anxious, it is feedback about something that's happening in this moment that I'm feeling. First and foremost, it's feedback. Okay. So then what can happen is we can get anxious about feeling anxious. We can feel so afraid about what we're afraid about happening. We can feel so anxious about what we're thinking about is going to create anxiety in the future. It's such an intricate thing inside, but we just look at it as everything is energy. Okay, we look at it as everything is energy, and where most of the angst is happening, or where we feel it's happening, is in our head, right? So my job here today, intuitively, because I can talk about anxiety 50 different times, or 50 times, and it could be 50 different conversations. But for now, I'm going to just let flow through what wants to flow through. A lot of people think it's their head. Okay, I'm going to say that it's coming from your body. Okay, I'm going to remind you of what happens if a lion almost catches a reindeer. If a lion almost catches a reindeer, and then the reindeer gets away, or an antelope, or a gazelle, whatever we want to call it. Point being, a lion catches it, might grab a leg and might hold on to it for a second, and then the antelope might get away. Well, within a half an hour, that antelope is eating grass again. Why? Because that antelope knows how to tremor. You've all seen that. You've seen your dog do it. You've seen a horse do it. You've seen animals do it all the time. They shake the shock, the trauma, the fear out of the system, and then they go back to eating grass. Now, no one taught you that in school. I don't think most people go through school without learning this stuff. I did. I certainly didn't learn it in school. So that means there's lots of not necessarily lions chasing you, and you're not the antelope, but for imagery, for the visual, so that you can see what I'm saying. There has been lots of lions in your life that you've got away from, that have zapped you, that you didn't know how to get back eating grass a half an hour later from. Someone could have just shouted at you and told you to get back off, get down off that couch. Don't get off that wall. Don't do that. 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 Might be really overpowering negative people in your childhood or life. Could be a school teacher, could be a parent, could be a family member, could be an alcoholic, could be an uncle, could be a stranger. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where it came from. In this video, it doesn't matter where it came from. We're not diving into that. What we're going to do is something's making me anxious. We're going to address that. Everything is energy, and all problems are mental are two beliefs that I adopt, right? Even knowings. All problems are mental. In other words, I can't change the past, but I can change how I perceive the past. So if the past is causing me a problem now, it's a mental problem now. So all problems are mental and everything is energy. So let me learn mindset. Let me learn mindfulness. Let me learn how I work. Let me learn my mind, subconscious mind. And let me learn energy. All problems are mental and everything is energy. So we either feel good or we don't. We feel empowered or we feel disempowered. We can kind of be plateauing, but very rarely, usually it's always we're in a disempowered state or an empowered state. How do we get to more empowered states? We have the courage enough to sit and face when we're feeling disempowered, which actually makes it empowered, which actually makes me contradict myself, which is what spirituality is. There's lots of contradictions because at one level something means something, at another level it doesn't. And I actually don't like the word spiritual in that sense. I don't like being associated with spiritual communities or spiritual people because I'm a man who has figured out how I work as a human being. People want to call that spiritual. Okay. I just don't feel that that's the right label for me. I don't think it's the right category at all because I just understand how we work as human beings and that can be deemed spiritual. But enough about me. So anxiety is bodily and on the mental plane. It's mind and body. Okay. I would say that the body is like a hard drive and it stores everything that's ever happened to us. Subconscious mind. You can call the body the subconscious mind, and it stores everything that's ever happened to us. So in adult life, if you feel anxious or triggered or something rubs you and makes your nervous system respond, and you get a little jolt, you feel a ouch. Someone said something. You walked into a certain scenario, an object reminded you of something, a song reminded you of something. Create a trigger. Okay. How do we address that? The body remembered it. Okay. There's loads of different. It's beyond the scope of this video for me to tell you exactly what to do with it, other than if something, someone, or a song or something triggered a response in your nervous system, the best thing that we can do is allow the response to play out. In other words, don't say, "What the fuck am I feeling this way for?" Don't try not judge yourself. Try not go into a loop of making what's happening in your body wrong, because it's what's happening in your body. So accepting it is your superpower here. Okay, and then you do what you got to do. If you end up leaving the party, if you end up leaving the scenario, if you end up going home feeling exhausted and going to bed or dropping to the floor, that was your nervous system response. Okay, that was your response to that trigger. Okay, but over time, you're going to learn from every trigger so that the next time that object, that song, that person, that place, you see it or you're in that environment, you don't get triggered. And that's where your power lies. And that's when anxiety becomes a superpower. That's when mental health becomes spiritual awakening because you're awakening to who you are. And when you wake up to who you are, you have to address, feel, deal, and heal, process all the things that you're not. What your teacher told you you'd never amount to, what your parents, peers, or different beliefs that you took on from people, places, movies, radio stations, your favorite authors, your favorite movie star. Doesn't matter where you picked up your beliefs, we've all fucking got them. Let's not make this a big deal. We've all got different things that we think and feel that have shaped how we operate in the world. And now, as adults, we're just going to take responsibility for the fact that we feel that way. We're going to address it and we're going to move forward and act accordingly. So, prevention is your best cure. Deep belly breathing is your best cure because it's prevention. All day long, breathing into your nose, into your belly, making your belly rise, making sure that you're breathing deep into your body. When you're more in your body, you are more grounded, you are more relaxed, you are more patient, you are more present, which means you're less reactive, which means you're going to notice anxiety coming on a lot quicker. It's not going to get to your head and create a panic attack because if you are deep in your body more of the day, more of the time, you'll belch more, you'll fart more, you'll move more, you'll crack your shoulders more. You'll be more in tune with yourself. And so that will make you more aware of what is triggering anxiety. And then you get to address that problem. You get to change that energy from anxiety to excitement. You get to change that energy from pain to power. You get to change that energy from anger because you've got underneath the anger and you felt the sadness and process the pain. That anger can become passion and power. It's all energy. And we are energetic beings. We are energy. Everything is energy. Everything. This mouse, this phone, everything is vibrating. This is proven. This is again, it's not spirituality. It's not fluff. It's actually proven under a microscope. There's particles and waves. It's bloody energy. It's just that our eyes perceive them as solid. So very common sense, very common knowledge, so they say, and it can make sense. It doesn't have to be out there spirituality. It can be very practical and even science based. Although science is always only ever catching up to reality. So deep breath, that's your friend. Prevention is the best cure. What is anxiety? It is feedback. It's feedback. Let's keep it simple. There's many different ways that we can describe what anxiety is feedback, that there's something that, Mayday, this is not your life path. This is not the work you should be in. These are not your people. This food is making you feel a certain way. The different things can trigger it. And if we just start to listen to it, and then we get relief, and then we have to stop trying to manage our anxiety, and we get to actually free up that space, then we have so much more energy available to us that I was getting used up to manage or avoid people, avoid places, avoid parties, avoid scenarios. All that energy I was getting used to try and manage and maintain anxiety is now free because we're listening to our body, we're listening to our soul, we're listening to our heart, we're getting in tune with our heart. We're able to process our human hurts from childhood or wherever they come from. Could be ancestral, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's ancestral, doesn't matter who did it. Ultimately, these things don't matter. What matters is it's happening now. Let's address it. Let's address it. Let's learn from it. Let's develop a growth mindset. Let's use everything to grow. Let's change our perspective on everything that's causing us problems. If something's causing us problem, why would you hold that perspective? I can't believe that motherfucker done that when I was 14. I can't believe, 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 I can't believe. That type of thought, it's not helpful. You better believe it because you know what happened. It makes more sense to believe it, know it, and then change your perspective on. Now, if someone hurt you, you got to process the pain. If someone rejected you, that's sore. If someone spoke down to you, that can hurt. So I'm not bypassing your feelings. You can't get the forgiveness without feeling the pain. If you're angry at someone from your childhood, we got to process that anger. Anger is very valid. Sadness is very valid. Do you see the depth of what I'm saying? It's not like just there are no weeds, there are no weeds. I'm always positive. Everything is always working out for me. God is good to me. God is good to me, and everything is always working out for me. You must believe those things. I believe that when I say that God is good to me, God is good to me, and everything is always working out for me. That's an affirmation that I use often enough. But there's times when I say it where I'm like, I just, I'm in a really uncomfortable moment. That hurts. That hurts, or that hurt, or wow. When I see my younger self, and I try to say, ah, yeah, but I understand because his parents were the same. It's like, nothing specific is coming to mind, but this is relevant for everybody when you say, like, sometimes you can say, ah, but I understand because his mom treated him a terrible way, or I can understand because, his man kind of put him in a boarding school, or, he had no real role model. So you make excuses for the person that hurt you before you felt the pain. Don't go straight to forgiveness. Don't go straight to understanding. If there's pain, be with the pain. If there's a part of you that experienced something at 7, at 9, at 12, at 14, at 17, don't brush over that. You got to be gentle with yourself. So yes, you be stoic, but you also have to heal. Or a better word, you got to integrate the energy of there's a younger part of me that feels scared. If my son felt scared, would I rush him past being feared? No, it's okay, buddy. That's a valid fear. That's okay. You got it. No, of course. It's your first time doing it. This is your first time doing it. Of course, you're going to feel afraid, son. This is your first. There's a big room. There's loads of people in there. You're going to speak up for them. Whatever it is, I'm going to help my son understand his fear and move through it. So the same is true for me. I'm going to reparent myself. I'm going to help my younger self realize it's okay, buddy. I got you. It's okay. I get it. I get you. I get you. I get the nerves that's building up, but don't worry. We can handle this. We can handle this. We got this. It's okay. God is good to me. God is good to me, and everything is always working out for me. This is not about me getting up onto this stage. This is about the people that's going to benefit from what I say. Take myself out of the way. Take my ego out of the way. This is inner work at its finest. It's always happening because it's always now, and different things present themselves. Especially when you're stretching your comfort zone and you're doing things that are new. It's a different kind of pain. You got the pain of staying the same, being anxious, being in your comfort zone, being in everything that's familiar, doing the same thing every week. Out of the comfort zone, it's not the best word. I think it's more of the bearable zone. But we have to pain, which is not pain, but you got growth is uncomfortable, which is to the ego seems like death, seems like pain, seems like suffering. Make sense? Let me wrap that up. Let me did write something on this page yesterday when I had a lot of thoughts coming. what to do. Yeah, so I want to do a video series on anxiety, and it will follow. You know, feedback, prevention, breath, alchemize. So, what is anxiety? It's feedback. How do we prevent it? Breathe. First and foremost, we breathe. Then we drink lots. Then we drink enough water. We sleep enough, and we eat correctly as best as we can. What to do if when you feel it strike? We meet it. We match it. We beat it. We breathe. We break a sweat. We track the feelings. We reflect on what triggered us. Was it a food? Was it a person? Was it an action that we take? Was it an environment that we went into? Was it a memory coming up from the past? Something that someone says reminds us of? And then we alchemize the energy. We free up that tense, tight, sometimes frightening energy and fill it with purpose. We get to our purpose. Okay, we get to our purpose. I didn't say that word yet. But your purpose, if you don't know what your purpose is, your purpose right now is to be here now. Your purpose right now is to be present. Feels blurry. And when you be present, everything else will fall into place. But being present can be uncomfortable because there's usually stuff that we've been avoiding feeling. So we must learn how to feel what's alive in our body. I'm not saying listen to your feelings and don't do it. I don't feel like going to the gym today. I don't feel like going over there. I don't feel like. I'm not talking about that type of feeling. I'm talking about feeling what is stuck, trapped, stagnant in your body. And then by doing so, you get to the other side of that. And then that tense, tight, kinked hose of energy, that ice block, that stuck, stagnant ice block emotion that's been holding you back for years in almost every area of life now gets to thaw out. It gets to liquefy again. It gets to flow. The energy gets to move more freely. The block of ice thins out. The hose unkinks just by presence, just by awareness, just by navigating the moment and what's alive in it and learning from our triggers, our reactions. What is a reaction? A reaction is a response that we did not choose. A reaction, if someone makes you react, traffic, person, place, comment, if you react to something or somebody, it's a response that you did not choose. So we learn from our reactions, we learn from our triggers, we learn to open our heart, we learn to drop the walls around our heart, which I believe in this type of a world we all have on some level heart, a wall around our heart. And that's it for now. That's it for now. I'm jumping up out of like meditative state almost just record this video because I'm trying to be perfect and dress a certain way, feel a certain way, look a certain way, be in a certain environment to record it, have more slides presented already. I didn't use any slides here. I've got a lot of slides, I've got a lot of data. I've asked a lot of questions over the last 2 weeks about anxiety and different things, on market research and how to get better at sharing and public speaking, um, learning how I'm perceived, keeping it grassroots, keeping it like mental health is important, mental fitness is important. There's a lot of people suffering. There's a lot of people feeling a lot of stuff right now. And a video like this, it's perfectly imperfect and it can be extremely helpful. And if this resonates with you and there's a part of your soul going like, I need to talk to this guy, I need to book in with this guy, um, we can potentially work together. Um, I do one-off sessions, but mainly I'd rather have a 20, 30 minute phone call with you just to see if we're a good fit before you pay me. And if you feel like we're a good fit at the end of that 20, 30 minute phone call, then we can talk about working together. And I feel like we're a good fit. We can talk about working together. Or I can recommend you to someone else. I can recommend you a book. Or I could recommend you a podcast. I could recommend you a YouTube video to watch. Um, but yeah, don't hesitate to reach out. If this video finds you and this is hitting you, deep in the guts, where you're like, I want to talk to this dude, then hit me up. Hit me up. And yeah, whether it's mindset, whether it's self-awareness, whether it's confidence, whether it's spirituality. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that we can cover under the 360-degree banner, and there's a lot of different things that we can cover as spiritual beings having a human experience. I'm still fine-tuning what I specialize in because I've been 10 or 12 years figuring myself out, you know, coaching people who tend to already get this stuff. And It feels right now that this is opening up to more people. More people are ready, thirsty, and hungry for this knowledge, for this information, so that they can feel more confidence, feel more fulfilled, tap into their own purpose, tap into their own calling, their own destiny, have more patience with their children, pursue the career of their dreams, find back doors in different ways, and allow magic to happen because you think you can't do it because you didn't get enough points and you're doing a certain stuff like that. So many different beautiful things happen by alchemizing this energy, alchemizing the energy of pain to power. And everybody has pain. Everybody's experienced heartbreak. Everybody's experienced shame, fear, guilt, apathy. We've all experienced these emotions. It's just that we don't know how to process them, and sometimes we can get stuck in them and not know how to get out of them. And the only way out of them is into them. And as we learn how to go into them, we rise up and we become more powerful, confident, and clear. You want more clarity, give me a shout. Anyway, I trust this message finds you well, and I'll see you on the other side. I'll see you in the next video.